Okay, we'd like to welcome everybody to daVinci Payments, the Payment Accelerator demo. We're so glad that you could be here. We're really excited today to share with you this new product. And I'm going to walk you through the agenda here and then a little bit of insights, and then I'll turn it over to Courtney. So we will go through the presentation, but first I'm going to walk you through what we're going to view today. So next slide, please. All right, first of all, Payment Accelerator, why we're all here. What is the Payment Accelerator? Very, very quickly from a very high level, this is an industry first. It's a payment that's texted to a recipient. And the Payment Accelerator allows your customers to receive a branded virtual payment offer via text. It comes accompanied with a message to drive traffic in store, online, and get them to come back for more. Now, it pays them in advance of their action. It provides those credentials, and the moment that they go complete that action, it's actually paid. So the incentive is amazing, and the delivery is unmatched in the industry. So that's why we're really excited to share this with you today. Before we do that, let's just take a look at a few insights as to why this product makes sense. So we can go ahead. First of all, I'm Rodney Mason. I'm Chief Revenue Officer of daVinci, and I drive insights here. So I will be doing the introduction and the close for this presentation. Next slide. Courtney Molson will be taking you through our product. She's our senior product marketing manager, and she has extensive experience in financial services and retail marketing. We're very excited to have her on our team, and she helped develop this product. So you'll find that she's very passionate about it, and rightfully so. Next slide. All right, so our agenda today, we'll go through some insights from a few of our studies. That will be very brief. Then we're going to really talk about the Payment Accelerator. But before we do, after we share a little bit of research with you, we will actually pop on the screen a quick survey question for you. And this is highly confidential. We won't know who has answered. We won't use the information again. It's just part of this presentation to make it more interactive. But we encourage you to participate in that survey. It aligns with the research we're going to share with you in advance, and we just like to always see how the audience responds, and it's fun for everybody to see that. And Courtney will take you through the Payment Accelerator industries that can use Payment Accelerator and examples of those. She'll actually show you a demo and how the data and metrics work. And then we'll have Q&A. So if you have questions along the way at any time in the presentation, there's an orange button in the top right corner. You can click on that, and you'll go down to questions, and you can submit questions to us, and we'll answer those at the end. Then at the end, we'll summarize, and we'll share some other upcoming content and information with you that we have available. So with that, let's advance. All right, so very quickly, just about daVinci, so you know who we are. daVinci is leading the movement to greater value in payments for all by blending art, science, and a quarter-century of experience. We develop payment solutions that are virtual and physical prepaid, but we also handle push pay and beyond. We manage corporate payments and help brands reach their customers, employees, contractors, channel partners, and business partners like never before. If you'd like more insights from daVinci, including some of the research we're about to share here, you can simply go to our site, davincipayments.com, and click on Insights or Research Studies. And if you'd like assistance from us, you can always just click on the contact button on our website. Next slide, please. If you want to know more about the Payment Accelerator, you can always reach out to us, but you can also go to our website, click on Solutions, and there is a Payment Accelerator section dedicated in that area. Okay, so we're going to share just a little bit of research with you, and these are two national studies that we conducted. The first one is our future payment study. We conducted it thus far in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. And today we're going to share some insights from the United States study. It was conducted at the end of May, and it was over 1,000 participants with 97% confidence reflective of the United States. We're going to share just a few insights from there relevant to the Payment Accelerator. And then we'll also share some insights from a study we did, a qualitative study we did in Q4, where we talked to marketers and we said, hey, if there were a recession, how would you spend? And it's very enlightening because most people didn't anticipate COVID to do what it has done this year. But with that, let's take a look at some of the research we have here. Okay, so our study, the Future of Payments US, was focused on understanding how people are spending now under COVID, shelter in place, and then how they intend to spend for holiday and beyond. And what we found were several interesting things. First and foremost, we ask, how connected are you? How many devices do you have that can connect to the internet that you use? And there is connection saturation. Literally, pretty much anybody that could make a purchase online has a device to do so. 95% of those surveyed. And when you start looking at the older age groups, they're also highly connected. So it really is across generations. There's a high connection point, and mobile is a huge part of that. Next slide, please. Here, when we look at age, if you look at the 56 plus, 59% have 1 to 2 devices, but if you scale over, 27% have 3 to 4, 6% have 5 plus, 93% of 56 plus have a connected device. So across age, income, education, everything that we looked at, everybody's highly connected. Okay, and online shopping. So what's really interesting about COVID and what it's done, oops, we lost our slide there. What's really interesting that has happened since Q4 of 2019 is that online shopping has more than doubled, which is just pretty amazing. In fact, during COVID, when we did this study, 36% of all shopping was online, and the numbers are going up from there. When we started talking generationally, like the 18 to 25-year-olds, 71% do more than 50% of their shopping online. And even down to the 56 plus, 55% are doing more than half their shopping online. So you can see that the trends are quickly accelerating, and that online shopping, if it just follows these trends, will be the dominant way that everybody shops within the next year. Next slide, please. So what was even more surprising to us is that online shopping was not only significant now, but it actually, the anticipation for the holiday is that it will go up even more. And just look across the numbers, you see the growth across ages. Next slide. Okay, so mobile majority. The next question we had is, what percent of your online payments are done on your mobile? 57% use mobile for more than 50% of their online purchases. And when you start looking at certain ages like 31 to 38, millennials, 75% do more than half on mobile. You start looking at millennials and Gen Z and women and across the board, even older age groups, you're starting to see that mobile is becoming the primary way that people are shopping and making payments online. Next slide, please. So then we said to them, what are the top 5 payment features? Choose the payment features that are important to you when you get paid. Number 1 was acceptance in most places. And if you think about that, people are now thinking about, if you're going to pay them, how quickly and easily can they turn around and spend that payment? And more importantly, when they're thinking about that, they're also thinking that they're shopping online and they're shopping on their phone. How quickly and easily can they translate that into that type of payment? So acceptance most places was number 1 on their list. Ease to receive was number 2. Ease to spend, number 3. Security, number 4, and speed of delivery. So again, when you reward them, virtual and mobile makes even more sense than it ever did. But their mindset is, when you pay me, how am I going to pay? Next slide, please. So we asked them about the Payment Accelerator. we actually laid this out for them, the product, and showed them how it worked and said, hey, is this something that you would be interested in? Is it something that you would use? And we got a resounding yes, 64% overall. If you look at under age 55, 69% said they would use a payment accelerator. You're looking at Gen Z, or really millennials, they nearly 3/4 said that they would regularly use a payment accelerator. Next slide, please. Now, I mentioned the marketing study that we did. This was a qualitative study, but we went across a lot of different industries. We went to senior marketers and C-level marketers, and we said, in the event of a recession, how would you intend to spend your marketing dollars? And if you look over on the right, like take, for instance, automotive. If you scale over to the right, you see innovation there. They would expect an increase. You see a lot of price type promotions. You see some other specialty items, but across the board, innovation is a really big one. Some rebates and loyalty and price type promotions. Can we click to the next slide and show the other industries? Again, in these categories, you're seeing innovation lit up there. And that's, when we drill down on innovation, what is innovation? Well, yeah, innovation can be a new type product, but it's really new ways of doing business. And it's new innovative ways to attract customers. And if there's one thing that Payment Accelerator is, if you think about it, if you're trying to drive traffic in an auto dealership or into a retail store or even online, it's a highly compelling offer that does not exist, that perfectly aligns with where consumers are now. In all honesty, when we developed this, we didn't anticipate COVID, but it's perfect for the post-COVID environment. Next slide, please. So we're going to ask you a quick question, then we're going to jump into the Payment Accelerator. What % of your online shopping is done on your phone? The answers are going to pop up here, and we ask you to answer that, and the results will be posted. And then we'll move into our demo. And we'll give it another few seconds here, and then we'll post the results. You want to go ahead? Can we post those? All right. So what % of your online shopping is done on your phone? Wow. 36% said, really 45% said more than 50% is done on their phone. Those numbers are, I'd say, just a little bit lower than what we found in our national studies, but they're close. So all groups were trending over 50%, doing more than 50% on their phone, but even here, the numbers are very high. So with that, let's turn it over to Courtney, and we will go into our product demo.
Great, thanks, Rod, and good afternoon again to everybody. Thanks for joining us. As Rod said, I'm going to introduce our newest product, Payment Accelerator, that combines texting offers and texted payments. And based on the poll and just intuitively, I'm sure you all use text messaging yourself, and you're obviously not alone in that. It's really one of the main reasons we incorporated text messaging and built this new product, because consumers love texting too, right? They're just using their phone. The mobile only increases in our current environment and has become really their preferred communication channel. So it's got a very high open rate because the phone is with everyone. As Rod shared in some of his metrics up front, they're opening the text messages within 90 seconds of receiving them, and it's become very easy to use across all ages, across all demographics. Everyone's got a mobile device and is using text. So those are kind of some of the key. Those are kind of the three key reasons for for text in today's environment. But as we kind of take a closer look at the metrics, the numbers around using text in digital marketing and in delivering payments is really kind of the effect of the popularity of mobile and moving into the mobile environment. So on average, we know that 98% of all texts get opened, right? So that speaks to being able to view text messages from the brands you trust and that you have opted in and said, I want to receive messages and offers from these brands. And then once those texts are delivered, it's that 90-second window that is so powerful for marketers to understand, wow, not only am I able to communicate with 98% of my audience, but I know that they're opening it, and they're opening it, immediately. They're not losing the offer, or I'm not seeing the offer. So if I have something that I want to get quick to market and message, I know that that's going to be delivered. And then the engagement rate of 40% is very high for it's higher than any other digital marketing channel. So any click action that a consumer is being asked to take, whether it's clicking to get more information or respond to an offer across all industries, in a national view, 40% engagement rate, and that is higher based on different circumstances as well, right? So across all of those digital messages, the 45% conversion rate really, the 40% click rate, and the 45% conversion rate are pretty impressive numbers. So next slide, please. So that kind of sets the stage. So what is Payment Accelerator? Well, it's daVinci's newest product that really brings the text messaging together with delivering the texted payments to your consumers, to your clients. And based on those that are opted in to receive messages from you, they love it because it's an app-like mobile user experience. So they don't have to go through the effort of actually downloading an app or keeping an app up to date, but it's that slick, modern way of delivering a message to the consumers that they really love. And our clients love it too, because the way the user experience is set up and tracked, it gives consumer marketers 100% attribution on their sales that they get through this channel. It's all based into this mobile user experience. We drive them online, and we're able to really understand those key metrics that help us drive and optimize our marketing programs. And clients love it for that reason. And it really delivers an experience that is not only giving you the most information and makes consumers happy, but it's also super, the cherry on top is it's super easy to kind of push it into market and get something out there. You can iterate on it very quickly if that's what your strategy is, and it's kind of a win-win for all different scenarios for a digital marketer. Next slide, please. So across all industries, there's really a good use case that I could think of for any one of these industries or more. But where Payment Accelerator really is a no-brainer, I think, is solutions for industries that use either lifecycle marketing programs, either like comprehensive lifecycle marketing programs or certain strategies within lifecycle marketing, or just general promotional marketing campaigns that they use to drive sales or optimize performance on products. In particular, auto, retail, specialty retail, big box retail, health and wellness programs, membership, with membership bases and customers that you really want to talk to on a regular basis. Restaurants, it's perfect for restaurants, grocery, the whole gig community. There's so many different variations on that, but there's many use cases where that makes perfect sense. And insurance, and I could go on and on. There's really a lot of ways that the product can be used. So let's actually, instead of kind of talking about it, let's dive into the demo. And so I can kind of show you what Payment Accelerator looks like, because I think that's the best way to really talk about it, is kind of show how it works and show you the streamlined user experience. So we put a demo together with using auto as an example. But again, this, you can picture this across any industry. It can help you, whether you're, wanting to do those kind of life cycle programs or do it on a promotional basis. But let's kind of show how, if you are an auto customer and you are receiving a message from your client, or from your brand that you've opted in and you're messaging with, what that might look like. So I get this message, this notification on my phone. It makes me aware that it's there, so I open it right away, and I see that I've gotten a message from Neo saying that I'm going to be able to enjoy a $25 payment for my next service on my car, right? So it's a turnkey platform that really you provide minimal information about the strategy, and either based on best practices that we can share with you in our user experience guides. The customer sees this and they will click on the offer in that URL text link right there. You provide branded imagery for both the text message and this landing experience that tells them what the offer is, provides all the details for how to respond to that offer through a call to action link and the call to action button here on the landing experience. You can provide terms, but we really focus mostly on driving them through the user experience so that it's super clean and super easy for them to understand what you want them to do. So the customer accepts the offer by clicking there on that call to action button. And once they've said, yes, I want it, the actual card payment is created and the customer is ready to basically use that offer when they want to go in store or online, and they click the button right there that says unlock my payment now, and that exposes the full 16-digit account number. The discount is processed as a credit card transaction by the associate at the store. So it's just like any credit card payment that an associate would be taking in the store. It just happens to be unlocked on their phone, and it's sitting on their phone waiting for them to use it. So they're not kind of losing it in a pile of coupons. They're not losing it in an email. They've got it sitting there like a hot potato in their phone, ready to use as soon as they want to. So let's kind of show how this could be used across different types of industries. So we talked about how Payment Accelerator can help your business, whether you use lifecycle programs or promotional campaigns. Let's talk about how we can run through examples of how this could be done in an auto dealership example. So imagine you have a group of auto dealerships and you want to activate through your customers through all of their life cycle stages. What would that look like? Get new customers to choose your dealership by basically communicating to them right when they walk out the door or drive off the lot, by sending them an activation offer. So you want to be sure that they're choosing to come back to your dealership to get service or oil changes. You're going to go ahead and communicate to them and let them know, hey, here's an offer for you to come back, try out our service bay. Thank you for your purchase. Let me deliver this offer to you as a new customer to come back into my dealership. And you send the customer the text reward, good at your location or any of your locations, and make the offer redeemable, for all of your outlets, right? So how would this look like, not just in activation? What would this look like in a retention scenario? Basically, very similar user experience. You engage the customer by sending them a text message, and you're asking them to basically continue to be your customer and stay active with you. So you deliver that text reward. Here it's a $25 payment for the customers you want to retain, right? So if instead of sending it to everybody, like you might want to do in an activation scenario where you want to try to drive everybody that's a new customer to engage with you, maybe you want to carve out a specific customer set that you want to drive behavior for and keep them engaged because you know that they are your profitable best customers. Again, you would select the population base. We would send out the text offers on your behalf, and that's how they would receive the offer and follow that URL link to engage and accept the offer. And there's a couple of different ways you can use the strategy for growing your business, right? A good way to kind of think about this for an auto example would be to increase maybe the average ticket. So let's say you have a customer that's a strong, consistent customer. They come in regularly for their oil changes, but you know that they have a high performance vehicle and you know that they've never really taken advantage of your high performance oil products or your high performance service. But Payment Accelerator, this would be a perfect way to use Payment Accelerator to kind of drive that behavior change or drive them into a higher price point product to drive up and optimize the relationship with them for you and your business. And then, you know, there's always those, as hard as we try and as good of a marketer as we are, there's always those customers that we lose for whatever reason, and maybe you've identified a subset that you know, you think that you can win back because they are not coming in regularly like they used to, or they you know, are lapsing. COVID is a great example of that. They've stopped driving their vehicle that much, and now things are hopefully getting back to normal, or you want to make sure they don't realize that they still need to maintain their vehicle. Go ahead and send them an offer to get them back into your dealership and activated as a customer by delivering that payment to them. Next slide. So I'm talking a lot here about life cycle strategy, but that doesn't mean that Payment Accelerator isn't a perfect way to use the product in any kind of promotional scenario, right? So if you are doing promotional sales or product strategies, you can use Payment Accelerator for any kind of limited time offer or a loyalty special event. Say you have a loyalty program, you can use it as part of your loyalty strategy. Incentives for new product launches, even special events. And you can really do it on a national, regional, or store level. There's no limit to kind of how you want to slice and dice your population and how you want to deliver the offer to the customers. And that kind of speaks to, if you look at the next slide, it speaks to the setup, right? So setting up a Payment Accelerator program is super easy. And super fast. So really what you do is you work closely with your account management team and you know, to figure out kind of what the right strategy is for your business. And our marketing support team can provide as much or as little guidance and support as you want. But as I mentioned earlier, we do have a spec guide that outlines creative specs and kind of industry best practices that you can definitely use to initiate a program with us. Basically, we need to understand kind of what your goal is around the campaign, and we can help you craft the right headline, the right call to action message, and any other information you want to deliver to kind of drive engagement and conversion for your customer base. But if you have a team that does this yourself and you're comfortable, you know, kind of taking our brand guidelines and our creative guidelines and using your branding guidelines and developing the creative yourself, that's perfectly fine. And we will support you however you need us to do that. But the beauty of the product is you can iterate very quickly, you can test, you can get the data you need from prior campaigns to make modifications to really optimize this over time, as much or as little as you want. And then talking about those campaign metrics and optimizing, we provide full campaign performance metrics in our dashboards that will give you the information you need around text sent and the engagement rate with the message, as well as the full user experience, how the customer is engaging through the life cycle, engaging through the user experience on the mobile device. So you'll know the pages they visit that we've set up for you. You'll know how many cards were issued. You know how many cards were, there was how many transactions were made on each card and dollars loaded and used. So it's so much more is available too, but these are kind of the highlights, and it just gives you a little snapshot here of the different kind of information that we will be able to provide post-campaign for you to kind of analyze the performance. And then with that, I guess I'll check with our, yeah, it looks like we have some questions that we want to answer, and Rod, feel free to, jump in here and let me know if you have something to add as well. But our first question, and if you guys have questions, feel free to go into the sidebar there and submit them to us. If we can't get to all of them right now, we will definitely make sure that you get followed up with. So please, please submit questions to us if you have them. But we do have a question about the text database and the information that is used for Payment Accelerator campaigns. So who owns the text database? Who owns the information that is generated from a campaign? Okay, so the way this works is the text database is really owned. It's really a client's own proprietary opted-in customer list that they provide to us. So if you are a client who's interested in running a Payment Accelerator campaign, you would use your SMS text opt-in list and send messages from your brand to customers. Those customers would engage, and that information about what we send to them, their engagement, and ultimately if they happen to say opt out from a message, we would share that back with you. But all of that data and the information is owned by the clients or the brands who have captured the opt-in initially, right? So daVinci works with our clients, so we make sure we understand how clients are complying with regulatory requirements around kind of receiving customer opt-ins and managing the ongoing management of their opt-in database. But the information that is generated from a campaign and ultimately the overall database is owned by the clients on that base. So that's a good question. And we have another question here. Can payments be directed only to my store or used? Okay, so this question is about, can I have my payments only used back at my store and as opposed to anywhere that a credit card would be used? And the answer really is, it's your choice. So yes, you can have payments directed only back to your store or a group of stores that you want to participate in a promotion. You can define that however you want. Or you can deliver rewards that are really good as just like a regular payment, a card payment. So how we do that is it's all based on what's called filtering, and that's done at the processor level. So if you want to say you're let's use our use case of the auto dealership. Let's say you only want cards to be used back at the dealership. You've got the front of the house selling cards, and you've got the back of the house using processing to process service. You only want it to be used back at the service bays. we would understand how you are set up with your processor and use that information to filter and make sure that payments are only taken back at your stores and back at your service location. And I think that is it for the questions, unless I'm missing some. No, I think that's good. So Rod, unless you have anything else on the
Yeah, just a couple of things. Nothing on the questions, but if we can just go to the next slide, please. Just want to do a really quick wrap up and let everybody know that we do have an upcoming webinar, The Future of Payments for Canada, and you will all receive an invite for that. Some really interesting insights. Canada differs a little bit different from the United States and the UK, so some great findings there. Also, if you'd like to learn more about Payment Accelerator from us, you can reach out and contact us or go to our solutions page. And also want to let you know that you will receive a follow-up email that will have a recording of this session, so you can play it back or share it and forward it. And we'll also send you a copy of some of the insights from the presentation. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. We thank you for your time, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.